In episode 1, Yuzu Izumi and Erika Kono are friends. Erika is like the leader, kind of like Regina George. Erika has a crush on Shuji Nakamura, but Izumi is secretly dating him. She's keeping it a secret because she doesn't want her friend to get mad and kick her out of the group. The first problem is Erika. She volunteers Yuzu for the girls' captain of the sports festival, but when she refuses, she volunteers a random girl named Hirabayashi with her groupies. They lightly bully her and she caves in. The main character, Tomozaki, doesn't like this, but he doesn't have the social skills to stop it yet. The story explains this as a technique. Erika has the ability to manipulate the group mood. She decided that plain equals bad, and since Hirabayashi was plain, she was ranked below her and it allowed her to be harassed like that. Tomozaki failed to solve this problem. Next, Aoi gives him a new problem. Get Erika motivated for the sports festival. I'll call this the sports problem. This requires an incremental solution. He starts by gathering info on her so that he can launch his attack. Izumi tells him that Erika likes softball. Gumi is a reference for lazy people and helps him realize that she is cost effective, least effort, most reward. Kikuchi teaches him that she doesn't like to be looked down upon. If she acts like she doesn't care about the tournament, losing won't make her look lame. Using all three of these pieces, Tomo's solution is to make the girls' event softball and find a low-effort, high-reward way to stimulate her desire to not be looked down upon. During the voting, a different character named Tama is socially awkward. That will be important later. Softball gets chosen, all according to Tomo's plan. As a result of feeling guilty for Hirabayashi being the captain, Izumi decides to take her spot. Doing more research lets Tomo know that Erika sees Aoi as a rival and confirmed that Erika likes Shuji. In episode 2, Tomozaki finalizes his plan and gets his allies in position. His first arrow is taking advantage of Erika's soft spot for her friends. Since Izumi was now captain, she asked Erika for help and she complied. The second arrow is using Aoi to instigate their rivalry by indirectly telling Erika that she can slack off because Aoi will carry the weight. The third arrow is using mizusawa to tell her that Shuji, her crush, is excited for the tournament. The three-pronged solution works, and the problem gets a passing grade. By taking advantage of Erika's values and personality, Tomozaki engineered a successful result. But, as a result, Erika discovered the romance between her friend and her crush, creating a new problem. I always wondered why Tomozaki Season 2's first arc was my favorite. It's because of the elite engineering. In this video, I'll break down the way the plot was constructed by using problem-solving cycles, the core of any good plot. Now, Erika really starts bullying Hirabayashi. I'll call this the bully problem 1. She's mad at Izumi, but her logic is that if she bullies her own friend, she'll be looked down upon, so instead, she takes it out on a social outcast. The initial idea is for Izumi to say something, but this is ruled out because Erika can just pretend it's accidental because the harassment is so minor. Aoi tells him to sit still, but Tomo can't due to his values. Then, a surprise event happens. Tama calls out the harassment as a solution, but because she has low social IQ, she didn't see the potential consequences. The result is that the bullying moves from Hirabayashi to Tama. Erika baits Tama into touching her and then calls it violence. This is bully problem 2, since technically one was solved. Tama tries to solve it by calling it out again, but Erika skirts around it by pretending it was an accident, apologizing, and pretending Tama was violent. Solution failed. Erika's mood manipulation combined with Tama being an outcast makes the class not sympathetic towards Tama. Now that her friend is a victim, Aoi plans to do something in the background. Aoi and Mimimi try smaller solutions, but they are only band-aids. At the end of episode 2, Tomozaki develops his own solution. He will train Tama in social skills so that she can remove her status as an outcast and bring the class's mood to her side. Just like Aoi trained him to increase his social skills in Season 1, he is now training Tama to increase hers. This is also an incremental solution because they have to build up her skill before executing a plan. The next increment is for Tama to ignore all of Erika's attacks. The next increment is Mizusawa joining the training camp. In episode 3, she practices befriending Mizusawa to reduce her emotional barriers that hinder her. In the background, Aoi talks to one of Erika's clique members. As a result of Mizu joining, the next increment is Mizu bringing in Takei to help Tama's training. By studying him, they'll learn that his charm is what allows him to be blunt, yet create a positive mood, unlike Tama, who's also blunt. Mizu defines a charm as having a consistent vulnerability. Another weakness of Tama is exposed during training. She doesn't even know her classmates' names because she couldn't care less. Taking an active interest in others is the next step. In episode 4, Tomozaki learns that Mimimi teases Tama because of her tininess. This becomes the charm, the vulnerability that he trains Tama to use. Then he asks for her comedy routines too. In training, they practice comedy routines involving her shortness. For more training, he brings in Kikuchi as a sparring partner. The training goes well and Tama's ready. The next step of the plan is putting her training to work in the classroom to slowly shift the mood. In episode 5, Erika increases her bullying by ripping Tama's gift from Mimimi. This is the lowest moment of the arc and it feels like all is lost. An important detail is that Izumi knits tissue cases. This is the last straw for Aoi and as a result, she launches her own solution. When Erika is not around, someone knocks over her desk to piss her off. Her angry outburst and false accusations towards Tama turn the class mood against her. Like I said before, one of Erika's weaknesses is that she hates being looked down upon. Like a gangster, she can't let any perceived disrespect towards her slide. When she can't accuse Tama because of Aoi's protection, she targets her own friend, Mao. They start trash-talking each other. Then, just like Tama accidentally harmed Erika, Erika accidentally harms Mao and the mood shifts against her even more. Then Aoi adds fuel to the fire. Before Erika even has a chance to apologize on her own, Aoi tells her to. She's so prideful that just because someone else told her to do it, she doesn't want to anymore. She thinks it'll make her look weak. As a result, the class looks down on her. They all turn on her and start using the same arguments she was using on Tama. Then, Aoi gets Shuji to tell her to apologize. Remember her values from the sports problem? She doesn't like being looked down upon, and she also likes Shuji. Aoi is turning those values into weaknesses for her plan. It's similar to what Tomo did, except he wasn't hostile. And roping Izumi into this, the friend that stole her crush, makes her extra salty. When she starts crying, Aoi puts salt in the wound by calling her crush immature. Then, Aoi asks for a tissue for Erika's tears, and Shuji pulls out a tissue with Izumi's case. That's a result of Izumi's knitting, and is a reminder that her friend stole her crush, and it just pisses Erika off. She instinctively slaps it, making her look even worse. Then Mao and the class start bullying her. Because the mood is against her, it's legal to bully her. The solution is solved, but now there's a new problem as a result. Bully problem 3, with Erika as the victim. Tomozaki doesn't like it because he's ethical, but he's powerless here. And then, Tama comes to the rescue. With all of her training, she stands up for Erika. Because she was Erika's victim, and she has much higher social skills now, her words held weight and calmed the storm. As a result, everyone stops bullying Erika, and the girls apologize to Hirabayashi. That was a lot. Let's break it down. The first strength of this Erika arc is the incremental solutions. This is a writing technique for problem solving, where the solution is built up in steps that stack up to one climactic solution. This happens 3 times. When Tomo solves the sports problem, when Aoi turns everyone on Erika, and then when Tomo and Tama train together, solving the bully problem 3. All of these incremental solutions involve gathering allies or getting knowledge from people who specialize in certain areas. In the first one, Tomo learned from Izumi, Gumi, Kikuchi, Mimi, and Mizusawa. Then he used Izumi, Aoi, and Mizu for his 3-pronged attack. Aoi's plan involved Izumi, Shuji, and Mao. Tomo's training for Tama involved Mizu, Takei, Mimimi, and Kikuchi. Doing this makes good use of the supporting characters, and it makes the plot more well thought out. Each character has their own strengths and weaknesses. No one character can solve all problems on their own, so they have to recruit the right talent for each mission. After incremental solutions, the next great part of the story is how the values and weaknesses are manipulated. Certain characters like Erika and Tama are so fleshed out that they have very specific values that can be targeted as weaknesses. This makes the victories and losses feel more logical because attacking a weak spot is a universally logical tactic. Tomozaki manipulated Erika's values to motivate her to play. Some of Tama's values were being blunt and not caring about her classmates, which made her an outcast. Erika took advantage of that weak spot to bully her. Then Tomozaki helped Tama change her values to reduce her weak spots. Finally, Aoi used Erika's values as weak spots to bully her. Death Note does a very similar thing in its battles. My analysis on Light vs. Naomi is a good example. The last part is the consistent form of combat. Characters fight by socially manipulating the values and actions of others. One of the main factors was the class mood or atmosphere. Erika used that to justify bullying Hirabayashi and Tama, so Tomozaki taught Tama how to read the room and manipulate the atmosphere in her own way, which solved the climactic problem. There were also smaller results that changed into each other. The big picture is that the plot is extremely well connected, with events happening like falling dominoes. Results are chained well and solutions are developed in increments, making good use of values and weaknesses. The way Aoi and Tomozaki both approach problems differently is also good character development. Tomozaki is righteous and doesn't want to harm anyone, while Aoi is much less ethical, only caring about her friends. In conclusion, the Erika arc, the first 5 episodes of Season 2, was the strongest arc in Tomozaki-kun so far. It also has some of the best plot writing I've seen in a slice of life anime.